Jeep is betting big on the return of the Cherokee nameplate to its lineup for the 2026 model year. Hey, it's Corey, pickup truck plus SUV talk, and I am in mostly beautiful Malibu, California with this, the base model of the new 2026 Cherokee with something special lurking under the hood. In this video, I'm going to take you on a drive. So I intentionally grabbed this base model because with the one engine philosophy in this new Cherokee, I'm not gaining or losing anything in the overall driving dynamics, but I can show you what you truly get for $37,000. The biggest news of the morning during the press briefing is exactly what is underneath the hood here, and that is a new 1.6 liter four-cylinder hybrid powertrain, making 210 horsepower, 230 pound-feet of torque, and getting 37 mpg combined. They say this system is good for over 500 miles on a full tank of fuel, and because this is the first full actual hybrid, not plug-in hybrid, from Jeep in the US, you don't have to worry about range anxiety or plugging it in anywhere. You just get in and go, which, let's get back to it. I am going to give you my raw first-hand experience of what this thing is like to get out and drive. You can see, putting it in reverse, we still have a very high quality 360 camera there. We have our rotary dial there for drive. We still have all of our off-road modes, snow, mud, auto and sport down here. Auto hold for in traffic, I'm going to turn that off. We have a low gear down here for off-roading, I assume. But yeah, generally speaking, what you see is what you get with the Cherokee when it comes to the powertrain and the four-wheel drive system.
Sponsored by my friends at Screen Pro Tech. They make the film that goes over top the infotainment screen and digital dash. This is a great product. It keeps the smudges off, keeps the scratches off, and it actually makes the screen for the infotainment screen more of a tacky feel. So on long road trips, like I just finished a long camping trip, it was easier for me to pull up my music, pull up my podcasts, and use the map. My finger didn't slip around so much on the screen, and it was easier to use those systems. I also kept off a lot of the smudges, fingerprints, and didn't have any scratches from, say, anything I was using. The screen still looks brand new. If I have any problems with it, I can peel it right off. I could order a new piece of film, go over top of it. It's like you would with a cell phone, keeps that screen nice. So I'm not worried about any time in the future having a scratched screen, and I can keep that looking like brand new. Go ahead and get yours at screenprotect.com. About 60 bucks for the infotainment screen and the cover. They have it for all makes and models. Get 15% off. Use discount code PICKUP15. They make this nice little cylinder. It's like a boutique kind of cylinder. It comes with all your screens in there, and then they have a application that with a little applicator and a really nice high quality cloth used to clean it, as well as after you apply it, and some spray to put it on. So easy to apply. I've had videos on the channel on how I've applied it, and it's held up on my truck and my wife's Ford Ranger. We've both been really happy with this product. So make sure you get yours. I really was looking for something for these trucks we buy that have these really big screens. Make sure I want it protected. This has been really good.
So what I do lose out on here on this base model are some of the luxuries on the inside. I'm in cloth seats. I do not have heat ventilated seats, so that's something I'm missing out on. But the overall build quality in here is still pretty solid. This kind of octagonal stop sign steering wheel is very thick rimmed. And instantaneously you notice that hopping behind the wheel here. The first thing I really noticed pulling out of the parking lot here to this main road is there's nothing special. And that's what you want in a competent daily driver, a family vehicle, is you don't want to be thinking about how everything works. You just want it to work. That is perhaps the highest compliment I can give to a daily driver family vehicle, is it just works. It does everything I ask of it without me having to think about anything. And so far, I am truly impressed with the overall dynamics in here. It feels very well put together and very well engineered. But we are about to put this 1.6 liter to the test as we merge on to the highway. There was a lot of talk about on-highway driving in this Cherokee, which I felt is a slight affront being a owner of the previous generation. I really was like, tell us more about the four-wheel drive system in it. But here we go. We're actually going to merge on to the highway. We've got green lights. Let's get it and go. Okay. Competent. Strong. Impressive. Yeah. Just like I was saying, driving out of the parking lot, it's one of those things you don't have to think about. Just mashing the throttle, it went. I had to wait for a transmission to downshift and to rethink, oh, what is he wanting for me to do? What is he asking the vehicle to do? So the transmission here is an EVT, not a CVT. They made the joke there are no rubber bands in this vehicle, in this transmission. That 1.6 with that dual motor electric setup, it really does just get out and go when you expect it. And I'm gonna try and get around some slower traffic here. Yeah, I mean, impressive all the way around. The steering feel here on the highway, this feels like a much bigger vehicle than my old Cherokee. I had a 2014 Cherokee. I had the Trailhawk. This one absolutely feels more substantial than that one did. Just getting behind the wheel, seeing how far back that rear window is. They added 6 inches of overall length to it. But getting it out on the highway over some broken pavement with inclement weather here in SoCal, which is unusual for the area. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. The designers are very proud of this new 7-slot grille. We get those Squircle style LED lights, and on this $37,000 base model, you still get a lot of really nice fancy touches, I will say. These wheels here have the iconic Willys outline on them. They are a nice 5-spoke design wrapped in some comfortable necks and tires that we will talk about as we get out on the road. As we look at the entire profile of it, it has grown considerably over the 2014 Cherokee that I owned for many years, that prior 3rd generation of the Cherokee nameplate here in the States. And they say it's about 6 inches longer. It's about 1.5 inches wider. So Cherokee really does give you more here on this one. You can see we do have that big bold Cherokee nameplate there on the side, but what we don't have are door handles. We have e-latch door handles, so electronic door handles at all 4 corners, all 4 doors. And you can see we do have a very long wheelbase, but a very boxy design that very much calls it back to the 1984 Jeep Cherokee that really made a name for itself globally, being one of the longest running nameplates in the Jeep lineup. As we move to the back, even here on this base model, you can see we get full LED lights. The brake lights themselves actually kind of call back to a jerry can, but you can see that turn signal there on the body side itself. We get Jeep spelled out on the back, and because we have the base model, we don't get any branding down there. This is perhaps the only way from the outside you're really going to know that this is a base model, because it does come just so well equipped. Given that we have that 1.6 liter turbo 4 under the hood, we do have a single exit exhaust. Coming to the rear hatch, our base model has a manual open liftgate, but tons of cargo space. One of the biggest complaints of owners, my wife included, was just the overall lack of space in that prior generation. Cherokee has made up for that in spades here with this one. 33.6 cubic feet with the seats up, over 60 cubic feet with the seats down. Lots of space inside of this one, not just behind the seats, but in both rows up front, and it is fairly easy to close down. And this is checking all the boxes for a good, competent family vehicle. This is exactly what you would want out of a daily driver. It is something that is just completely seamless and effortless to get in and drive. You've got plenty of space all the way around. My 10.25 inch gauge cluster here is very easy to read, even if it is all digital. I know Holly, my wife, really loves having analog gauges, but the future is all digital, and here they've done it quite well. I do have my fuel economy readout there in the middle, showing me just how good of a score I am doing with this new 1.6. I do have the full 12.3 inch gauge cluster here with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So they did warn me when I picked out my vehicle for the day. Oh, you're picking out the base model that doesn't have nav. So what? I wanted to get one of the volume sellers. I wanted to get in a vehicle that most of you would be driving and see what is actually equipped and put in these vehicles and what it is like day in and day out. I've been impressed so far just in my short time behind the wheel here. Moving inside with these e-latch door handles, you simply grab and pull on it. It is a seamless motion as long as your battery is charged. And you can see here we do have express up down for the front windows, but not all four. We do have a window lockout and our door lock controls right here. Nary a stitch of gloss black until you get down here to your e-latch, which is right where your thumb conveniently lays. You can see here we do have an emergency latch for if your battery does fail on you and you need to get out. Coming to the seats, our $37,000, we'll call it, base model here does come with cloth seats, but I've been riding in them today and they are quite comfortable. I have no real complaints there. As we come inside and close the door to get away from the sounds of the PCH out there behind me, you can see our stop sign octagonal steering wheel here with all of our controls for our ADAS, and you can page through different information here on our 10.25 inch driver information screen, including our stellar fuel economy. You can see 23 miles right here, 42 mpg, which is absolutely fantastic. And I can only assume that range number will go up as the day goes on. They're very proud of the very linear design that they have here. It is a much more open and airy feeling and would inspire more confidence off-road because I can see more in front of me if I were to take this one off-road. We do have standard four-wheel drive in this one with sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport drive modes. Right here, we do have some gloss black there, some gloss black here with our dual zone climate controls. But again, this is the base model. Also here on the base model, our 12.3 inch infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is a Uconnect system, but I will say there are some gremlins because I choose on drives like this to use my USB cord versus doing the wireless option, and it did bug out on me a couple times that I just had to wait for my maps to come back up. This one does not have built-in nav as the base model, but I really don't see that as a big issue. Coming down here, we do have some hard buttons. We have a party blink here, but low gear, traction control off, lane keep off, and parking sensors off. Tons of storage in this one. I really like the storage. We have a little lip here if you need it. Engine start stop button here, dial to put it in gear, all your off-road modes, cup holders, a place to store your key, though who does that, and little grippers for your phone or your cups. Speaking of phone, you do have a phone slot there, but we don't have a Qi wireless charger in this one, so you're going to have to use a supplied plug. We have cloth up here, different use materials. I really like it. We have a damped but not felt lined glove box, and let's see the actual window sticker of this one, $37,590 as equipped. It looks like our only option is the Zenith Silver. They were very proud that for the nation's 250th anniversary, red, white, and blue are all no-cost paint options here on this one. Black cloth interior. Throughout the lineup, you're getting black or light gray, and that is a little bit disappointing because I like to see a little bit of contrast. Coming to me, I do have a completely manual adjusting seat, but plenty of headroom, especially without the panoramic roof above me. Some other things that I will note that this has, we have lane centering and just some added safety benefits that you really had to go upscale to get in prior generations. And here it is all standard for us in this base $37,000 Cherokee. As we come up to the back seat, this is where we are going to see another big improvement over my 2014 that I owned, just how much space they gave to rear seat passengers. We do still have all the electronic door latches, front and rear. We have our lock and unlock back here on the back doors, another premium feature, and your window controls right there. We do have 3 across seating here with a center seat back mounted seat belt. We do have an adjustable headrest here and a pull down armrest with 2 cup holders. But I'm going to go ahead and sit behind my ideal driving position, and my goodness, yes, plenty of space back here. And look, we even get some air vents for better airflow back in the back seats, though no additional power or anything like that. No storage here, but we do have a very high mounted seat back mat pocket right there. And then again, these seats very comfortable all the way around. I've got no complaints. Let's give it a test right here. Does it recline? Well, yes, just a smidge. And it gives me a little bit more space. Just don't be pushing back on it while trying to pull the handle all the way around. Pretty comfortable in here. I will say I am very impressed with the ride quality of this one. I was joking about just how much more substantial this one feels. It really does feel that much more substantial. Look, we drove that 2014 for a good 7 years, and I feel like I knew that vehicle inside and out, and it was small and plucky. This is a grown-up version of that Cherokee, 100%, and it does not, as of yet, feel sluggish by any means. We had the 3.2 V6 in ours, so massive loss in displacement here, but not a big loss in overall power. Again, I am very pleased with my experience so far. Big windows all the way around me also harken back to that 1984 version that really set the bar for what most people consider a Cherokee. I was actually really surprised in the presentation this morning how much they harped on Gens 1 and 2 and kind of skipped over completely the Liberty generations and my generation, which was the KL that we had. They're basically doing a Jeep reset here on the Jeep platform, the Cherokee platform, reaching back into the past, but not so far back in the past that we're talking about that old KL model. So here we are in stop and go traffic, and as I came up to that stop sign just a moment ago, I heard and felt the engine turn off, only because I'm not listening to any music, I'm not doing anything else, I'm really just taking in the vehicle around me. And yeah, I noticed that the engine turned off, but only because I'm a car guy. My wife put her in here. She would actually probably have asked me at some point in a 4-hour drive day, is this a hybrid? The seamless integration of the hybrid electric motors and the gas engine is really well ironed out. They put 2.5 million test miles on this powertrain, and as it is equipped here in this 2026 Cherokee, this really is a unique powertrain. Sure, the 1.6 is used overseas, but in a plug-in hybrid system, which is not what we have here. So this is truly a unique system for the United States, and very unique for Jeep, being their first traditional hybrid, not commanding or needing a plug, not worrying about range anxiety or anything like that. Now this is where we can talk about the fuel. So this takes regular fuel, has a 13.7 gallon tank in this one, and just over a 1 kilowatt hour battery pack that is about the size of a carry-on suitcase. All of that combined gives us an estimated over 500 miles of total range on a full tank. And again, without it being a plug-in, you don't have to worry about like on a full tank plus a full charge. No, just on a full tank. The engineers at Jeep, in those 2.5 million miles that they put on this, really calibrated and tweaked the engine system, the computers on board, to make the most of the fuel that is on board and to get as much regen as possible. And they did talk about at highway speeds that is going too fast to be in full EV mode. So that is why you see a decreased highway number versus an increased city MPG rating in this one, but 37 combined is a very impressive number. I'm seeing 35.3 just on my short 8.8 miles that I've been behind the wheel of this one so far. And again, like, I'm paying attention to the engine coming on and off, but I can almost guarantee you that no one else in the vehicle would know that the engine's switching on or off, or that there's anything funny going on underneath the hood. It really is a nice seamless setup that leaves little driver input or leaves little to the occupants to even know is going on. It makes the most of what is on board without alerting any of the passengers on board that something has changed. They say they very much calibrated this engine, this powertrain setup, to be good in all situations. They tested it for heat, they tested it for elevation, they tested it for all kinds of US real world scenarios, and I'm very excited to see exactly what this is like going through the canyon here down into Malibu. Quick editor's note here from my office. There is something that the vehicle started to do, not so much on my trip into Malibu, but at the end of the day, after I've already packed away my cameras and put everything up, that I wanted to make sure made it into this video. And that has to do with regen and how this engine handled downhill descents over long periods of time. I noticed, and so did some of my peers on this trip, as we talked on the way back to the airport, that going down hills, the engine would start to rev, and it sounded like it was racing and trying to do something that I wasn't asking it to do because my foot was not on the throttle at all. And that was the engine kind of responding to the fact that the battery was full and the regen didn't really have anywhere to go or put anything. I don't know, it was a very weird operation of this hybrid system that I never really got a satisfactory answer for when we were there. But let's hop back in the car, or in this case Jeep, and see a little bit more of how it handled. Speaking of canyons, I am now coasting downhill and we are picking up some considerable speed here. So for those of you worried if it would coast or if there would be too much regen involved, well, it'll coast. It'll coast quite well downhill, to the fact that, yes, I'm having to intervene with the brake pedal just a tad, just a touch, to make sure that I don't exceed the speed limit, which I'm already kind of flirting with. As we are out on the road just a little bit more, I can talk about NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. Again, this is where I talk about this being a more substantial Cherokee than what I had previously in my life. And I'd say they've done a very good job. This is just all around a very polished interior experience here, even in this base model. Proof that you don't have to spend a fortune, you don't have to go up into the $40,000 range to get a good, comfortable vehicle that will go for miles and miles without beating you up in the process. Sure, I'm missing some luxuries, but I'm not really feeling like I'm missing out on too much just driving this one around. I always laugh when we're taking crossovers through winding roads, canyon roads, changing elevation, big sweeping turns. I'm like, that's not what this vehicle was designed for. But as we heard from the engineers this morning, it kind of was. This is the most competitive segment in the US right now, the mid-size to compact crossover, depending on who's talking about what size class we have. And I would say that, yeah, more than likely, these vehicles are going to find themselves in situations like this, whether it be a family vacation to Malibu where you just want to see the beautiful sunshine and the beaches, or whether this is just your normal commute. More than likely, these vehicles are going to see these situations. So crossovers, SUVs do need to be calibrated for situations like this. And while I would much rather be in something with more horsepower and a lower center of gravity, the 210 horsepower, 230 pound-feet of torque, and the kind of instantaneous nature of it all as I dip into the throttle does make this a fun driving experience. Though yes, you are getting a little bit of body roll. It's not going to make any of the passengers seasick as you wind through these canyons. Well, that was a quick first look, first drive of this, the 2026 Jeep Cherokee, which is on sale now. This is the base model Cherokee, so the Cherokee, and hello. This is the base model Cherokee, or the Cherokee, which starts right at $37,000, including destination. And I am very impressed with all that I have here in this one. The overall drive impressions, sure, yes, my luxury loving self would love heated and ventilated seats wrapped in leather, but leather is not an option across the entire Cherokee lineup. They have the leatherette seats, which is something that we are seeing more and more of throughout the industry. But I'm sure Tim or I will have this again on our home turf for a little bit more long-term testing. If you want to see that, be sure hit that subscribe button below or right over here. Down here is another YouTube video that YouTube thinks that you should watch. But as for me, behind the wheel of the 2026 Jeep Cherokee, I will see you down the road.